Hola amigos, buenas tardes. Aquí es de Colombia o bueno, casi buenas noches para los otros países de Europa y del otro lado del Atlántico. Les doy la bienvenida aquí en este espacio donde una vez más vamos a hacer un compartir en inglés con uno de los invitados que estuvieron como parte de nuestro video de la Tierra. Entonces, este video va a estar disponible con subtítulos en español en los siguientes más o menos 2 días. Espero que los tengamos listos para que estén pendientes. Entonces, todos aquellos de habla en español, eh, ahí les estaremos actualizando para cuando el video ya esté subido con subtítulos. En este momento va a tener que cambiar a inglés, ya que nuestra invitada viene desde Inglaterra. Vamos a hablar un poco sobre la Tierra, esta tercera puerta de la Rueda de la Vida. Y bueno, espero que estén atentos porque va a ser un compartir muy especial. Muchas gracias. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this space once again. I am Antar Karana, director and founder of the Ancestral School here in Colombia. And I'm really happy to be once again here this week with all of you, sharing about a little bit more in depth of the process and the program that we've been weaving during this last few weeks called the Wheel of Life. So we've been doing a really beautiful weaving during this last pretty much 4 weeks now, where at the beginning we spoke about the general concept of the medicine wheel or the wheel of life, and every week we are opening each of the different aspects of this wheel, or each of the doors we're calling it. So every Monday we have a full video, more or less an hour. This one was like an hour and 40 minutes because we had 3 guests. But more or less the format is about an hour, where we deep into this knowledge of each of the doors, the different aspects of life, where we began with the fire, the origins, then we move into the water, the emotions, and now this week we are in the earth, which is all the physical, the body, the tangible, let's say somehow, and how we do interact with this and how we connect with this. Now, these videos are relaunched. We launched this program a few months ago in times where everything was feeling like probably was easing down. But as we see things are still kind of on the unknown, we have decided to relaunch it now with subtitles for all of you to be up there and uploaded into our Facebook page. With the intention of offering this information as a sort of support during these strange times that we are living as humanity. This week that we opened the door of the earth, we had, as I mentioned before, 3 beautiful guests that we are going to also present to you in the near future. Today we're going to interview one of them, Kim McFadden, a dear friend, and also very dedicated and passionate about nature connection and helping people, and not only of adults, but also she works a lot with kids and sharing with everybody the great importance of connecting with nature through growing your own food, through harvesting your own medicine, through connecting with the different landscapes and things like that. But mainly just to bond and create a bridge of connection with Mother, with nature, with Earth, and all the different elements, of course. But we are talking today about Earth. This day and these times when we are experiencing maybe this unknownness, this difficulty to find the answers to understand what is next. I think this week what we are experiencing with this knowledge, it's how important it is to deepen into realizing that, okay, maybe our jobs have stopped, maybe the normal standard activities that we used to do, probably we can't do them at this time. Maybe many of the things that we used to do, we probably can't either. So we've been confined to a time of reflection, reconciliation with ourselves, with our families, with our friends, with the way we work, with the things we work with. And one of the important and beautiful things that we've been left with is that no matter what is happening out there, or what is happening with all societies and well, and the planet as we know, the mother, this mother that we call Earth, giver of abundance, giver of life, holder of life, is inviting us somehow to reconnect with her. It's inviting us to come like kids, like little sons and daughters, to play in the ground once again, to remember of the beauty that it represents, to get your hands full of earth and dirt, how playful it could be, to be around the trees, to walk the hills, to sit in the earth, to think and reflect. And how beautiful to do small acts of creation during these kind of quiet times, such as, like, for example, planting your own food, or planting a little plant, even if it's not gonna give you food to, to fill your fridge, at least to have the experience of connecting with nature, with a living being that is basically growing thanks to you. So all these little acts of creation can help us to reconnect. And I think for my own personal process, by re-observing what we've been doing again and doing this wheel, there are some little extracts that I've been reflecting on. And one of the most important ones, I think, for me personally, it's the fact that we, I mean, as a human race, have somehow forgotten about the different beings that exist within nature. That we probably consider as living beings those that we see they can move, like animals, birds, you know, humans, of course. But have we forgotten about the beings that are, for example, in the first door where we saw the fire, the second door where we saw the water, and the constant word is been about how to acknowledge these beings, how to actually make some time to sit and listen to them, to remember that there is a mysterious language between these elements and these beings that can actually talk to us, that we can actually talk to them, so that it's not just about always sitting to wait uh, for a river maybe to give you the answers, but actually maybe to also you bring in something to the river, like offerings, like a song, like a dance, like offerings of like crystals or seeds, or like in the same way you do with the fire. So I guess this weeks has been about rebonding connections and friendships with nature. So I think now that we're touching on the ground of the earth, it is important that we also reconsider now how much are we connecting with this mother, with this earth, and how much we are actually considering the fact that the more I sit and reflect, the more I can actually bring to these beings stories, or whatever I am feeling within me that I want to share, so that we begin to consider that nature itself is a beautiful friend. And we're surrounded by friends, so that the more we speak to them, the more we're going to receive messages from them, and we're going to be really connecting. So by the time we start receiving messages from them, answers from them, the more we are going to start valuing that friendship. And the more we are going to understand that in the same way that they give us so much goodness, actually, probably we could do the same. We could be giving them an offering to all these beings, living beings, some beauty. How could we do that? From small things and simple acts that for some people probably is like awkward or strange, such as like talking to them, such as like singing to them. What about hugging them? Yes, you've probably seen people hugging trees, hugging stones. Yes, why not? From that point up until actual physical actions. Like, for example, what about helping the earth to be more nutritious? Having a compost so that you can actually, offer it to the earth. Same with the other elements, same with the waters, how to clean the waters and all this. So it's bonding relationships and recreating a relationship that probably has been broken. And it somehow, with the situation like we're living now, planetary, we get to this stage where we probably feel alone in our home or lonely, like you're just with yourself. But actually, the more we recreate these bonds, we will acknowledge that they are always there for us. So it can offer us a little bit of comfort, and it's even touching the ground of therapeutic. I mean, the therapeutic ground can be also so beneficial. Can make us feel so good and relaxed and peaceful. So this is the topic. This is why it's so important to reconnect with the all the living beings of creation. And this week, as I mentioned, we are tapping on the earth. So for this, I would like now to invite my dear friend Kim McFadden. With Kim, we have been working for a few years already in the UK, and together we have put different plans around there, running retreats, running different classes, different traditional ceremonies to connect people with nature. And most recently, last year, we ran a beautiful course called Ancient Pathways and the Plant Kingdom, where we were going deeper into the practice of the wheel of life, based and focused on the plant kingdom and how to use them, how to use different plants and for what, and a beautiful, beautiful exploration that we did. We're going to run it again this year. In fact, we're going to come up with that information soon. So please be in touch for that if you feel the call. And in the meantime, I'm just going to invite Kim here to join me on this broadcast. So, hello, hello, Kim.
Hello. Hi. Thank you so
Hello,
much
how are
for
you?
the. Yeah, I'm good. I just had to run in because it started to rain, and so I had to evacuate
Okay.
my other spot and come inside. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's all good. But it's so strange, raining in England? That's quite strange, isn't
Yeah,
it?
especially in
uh,
Wales. Yes, it's very
especially in Wales,
unusual.
that's right. Yeah, very unusual. It's good to have you here, Kim, and great to be sharing again and acknowledging a little bit of this great wisdom that is connecting with our mother and the mother abundance. So it's a high privilege to have you here again, and sharing from something that I can speak that is something very passionate on you. So I'm really happy to have you here, and yeah, the mic is all yours for anything that you would like to share with us today.
Oh, thank you, and again, thanks for inviting me back to speak. And one of my main passions is earth tending and taking care of the earth for the health of us and the health of our future generations. So thank you so much. And
Absolutely.
it's such a wide topic, it's such a big topic. Um, for me, earth tending is one of our most ancient ancestral pathways. Over the course of the journey of our existence, we have evolved with the earth. And one of the great ways to come into meaningful connection is our relationship to the earth. And it's a great way to turn towards and bring closeness and meaning with ourselves and in community when we put our hands into action and when we tend the soils and we tend the wild. It brings such a sense of well-being, and we can look at it from many different dimensions, many different ways, let's say, on a but really one of the ones that I want to speak to today is on a biological level, for our nervous system, that we have these ancestral pathways within our nervous system and our biology that very quickly activates when we re-engage with the natural, with the wider living world, and when we start to tend the plants and tend the soils and tend our relations all around us, and we have this greater, deeper sense of well-being because it activates our parasympathetic nervous system. So we're calmer, we're more connected in ourselves, and therefore connected with everyone around us and the wider living world. So I really feel passionate about the health of the earth, and it brings health to us also. So this is obviously not the purpose, but it's, you know, the principle of nature is giving. When we look at the wider living world, every living organism is helping one another, helping to thrive and to grow. And so it's a great opportunity for us to come into our purpose and find place with one another, and to live the natural law, which is one of giving and one of abundance and one of helpfulness. And we're all helping each other and helping the future to thrive and to grow. We have a great wellspring of just good feeling and health. And in these times, that's so important. It's really important
Absolutely.
that we tend our body, the earth, and to one another and relationship and connection, so that we can live in health with one another. And yeah, I think that there's so many different narratives at the moment. There's so much going on in the world, and we can sometimes lose our landmarks of what's true, what's not true. But we share one common truth. We share more than one common truth. We share also with the water door and the fire door and the air door. These are our common truths that we can definitely not, there's no disputing that we're connected and united within these elements. And that's how we can come together. We can come together and tend that common truth as one, in communion with one another and in unity with the earth. And that just takes a little bit of commitment. And when we're feeling really like we can't do something, is to really just find that commitment with us to go out and to listen and to look and to share, maybe in the garden, or, you know, in the simple ways that you've just been explaining.
Yeah, there is something really interesting that I've seen whilst I've been there and seeing your work, which I think is very inspiring. And I think maybe we could tap on this, which is in these days that we're living, that we're experiencing, where social distance is kind of the key word. Covering your mouth, don't really get close to anyone. How much this is actually creating the same disconnection with the other realities, which is why I'm trying to say that, getting close to nature, getting close to all these beings, living beings that are around us, they're not asking us for social distance or anything. So we can actually find lots of support from these beings that have always been there, to remind us of the importance of the closeness and the importance of acknowledging each other within the same creation that we all live. And one side for me that has been quite of a task to think about is about children. Is about how much of this because we as adults at least have a well enough reference of our growth and being adults and all this, and suddenly we have changed into this, but at least we still have a good amount of years of reference of what living differently is. But for children who are growing right now, and they're actually growing with this concept of distancing each other and not being able to talk to anyone and disconnecting from everybody, and the safest place is just being on your own in your own room, um, how important is actually, obviously, we are respecting laws and we are trying to go along with the process that we're experiencing, but how important is that when times start changing and things begin to shift, to have this great memory that I've seen so much in your work, which is getting children working together in the field, working together in nature, actually remembering that there are other ways of playing more than just being on a laptop or a telephone or a tablet. But actually, I've seen you doing it, making them build amazing things, getting them to grow food, getting to actually harvest the food that they grew, and all these things, and how creating different dynamics of life can be so beneficial for the younger generations, of course, for adults and for elders as well, for all of us. But it's so great to plant all that in the youth generation, I think, and that's what I've seen so much in your work. That is, amongst many other things, it's very inspiring.
Yeah, I think that to plant the seeds of, the seeds of connection to our natural world, in the hearts of our children is so important. And during these times, actually, is like you're saying, there's a disconnect on one hand, but an opportunity on another. As parents, as custodians of children, or aunties, uncles, that we can take our young ones outside, and we can introduce plants, introduce trees, start learning the interconnectedness of life, so that that disconnect perhaps is not the focus, and we can play and find games and observe and listen, and it brings children to life. We can track animals, we can take children out and follow footprints and see where they lead us, and on the way you notice plants and what's this and what's that, and it doesn't matter if you don't know, just get a plant identification journal and go on an adventure of curiosity and meet the world, and see what the world has to say that day, and see what animals are alive or what birds are calling, and engage and see and observe. And in that observation, in that playfulness, we start to see how everything is interconnected, and we feel grounded, and we feel safe, and we feel a part of the world, knowing that we're a part of that too. So
It's true. It's true.
yeah.
And I think actually you made me think that, even for those who are watching, for example, and probably say to yourself, well, yeah, it sounds amazing. I would love to do that, but I just don't know much about nature myself. How can I actually bring my children to discover nature if I myself probably don't even know? Probably they know even more than me. Um, Actually, these days the technology is been evolving so greatly, to the point that actually there are some apps that you can download in your phone and literally take the picture into the leaf or into the flower or all this, and it actually gives you a glimpse of there are some of them seems to be quite accurate and give you at least as an approximation of what that plant could be. And another thing that you mentioned, which is really beautiful, is that, uh, beginning to recognize the different beings that live in the place where you actually live. So you can actually realize that certain birds are there, and probably you've seen them always, but you actually don't even know their name. And just small things like that begins to make you feel more connected. And actually, that brings me to the point of the video on Monday, where you were talking about, for example, if we love butterflies and we just love seeing like one every now and then, but we would like to see more. Actually, maybe if I research into what plants they love and I can actually plant them myself, so then what I'm going to get as a gratitude is lots of butterflies that I love, Or same with the bees. If I want to see more bees because I'm worried about what's happening with bees, maybe I can help them by doing this or doing that. So I think these little acts that sounds like games actually are beautiful dynamics that support life. Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was going to be something that, a part of the invitation. An invitation is to, observe and look where you are, see in your, your garden, or, maybe somewhere along a footpath, or maybe at a park, and just seeing what is there, what species are there. And perhaps you love oak trees and you think, do you know what, I'm going to harvest some oak seeds, I'm going to harvest the
Hmm.
fruit, I'm going to put it in a pot, I'm going to start germinating some oak trees, and then I'm just going to plant them around because I love them, and they're going to be there for the next generations to come. And it's not it's not all, it's for everything, it's for in all ways. And if it comes from inspiration, and it comes from joy and love, and it leads you to an action, then you know that you're following the right path.
Exactly.
um,
That's
and
very true. Hmm. Hmm.
the other
So.
thing that I was going to say is that, about 12 years ago, I couldn't even tell you what a plant was. Like, I just saw green. My journey has been these past 12 years. I just saw green, like all the green stuff, trees, maybe oak, a few references, but daisies, the poppies, the famous ones that you learn as a child. But I didn't really know my plant species at all. And so, a journey of curiosity leads you to learn very fast. When you start, then it's, you just go and you learn so quickly, because curiosity and inspiration and love is the one that's driving the show, it's driving the inquiry. So don't let that block you from going outside and visiting, and seeing what's alive in the world. It's so important that we start to learn our relations again, and come back into relationship again with the beautiful beings that are all around us.
Absolutely. And I was thinking that just what you mentioned is super true. I began to experience it when, for example, what I think what changes the whole interaction with nature is to also recognize that probably many of the things that we are going to do maybe we are not going to see the harvest of that, but we are going to be the beginners of that. For example, when I arrived to this land, I have the privilege to have, for example, lots of bananas, lots of avocados, and things like that. But of course, I didn't plant these trees. So whoever did it now is giving me the blessing to harvest. So I'm so
Mm.
grateful for whoever did that, or maybe it was the plant itself. I'm sure that some people also planted. So when the other day, few months ago, like I don't know, maybe a year, some of them, I start planting some of them as well, like mandarins and lemons and pomegranates and things like that. And I thought, well, this is just like gonna take forever. Come on, I'm probably never gonna even eat a mandarin from this. But those who like me will come maybe later, even if it's visit, uh, they will, they will receive the beauty of this creation. And nowadays, after 7 or 8 months or a little bit more has passed, the other day I was just looking at them and they're huge. They're like really thriving. Like, oh my god! So I was just looking at them and like, oh my god, is this really happening? I mean, like I'm gonna actually end up harvesting maybe next year fruit from these trees. It's so beautiful. So I think yeah, it's about detaching from the need of actually getting the harvest, but to think that the best harvest is to leave it for the future. Mm.
Absolutely. And I think that it's a real remedy for, the culture of immediacy that we live in. Everything's now, everything's now. But when you look
Yes,
at the natural world, that's not how it is.
yes,
And some
yes.
things, yeah, they can be more immediate, but we have the short-term vision and we have the long-term vision, and we need to be thinking about that and planting seeds with the joy of thinking that someone else is going to feel that joy, like our ancestors did for us. in many
Exactly.
ways, not just in the physical, but in many ways. And so we're all going to be receiving the fruits of each other's seeds. So what seeds do we want to plant for our future? Because, you know, that's so important, and the future of our children. And in the meantime, how can we also look at sustainable systems for now? There needs to be the two, and also if it's not your like mega passion and not your like your path that you want to commit your life to, then we are all custodians of the earth. We are born into this world and we become custodians, that's it. And so therefore what can we put our hands to? Because part of our purpose as human beings. And if we don't move with that and we don't apply that, then we're missing a sense of purpose in our lives. So it's
Absolutely.
a call for the smallest things, whether we're going outside and we're creating the space to listen, be curious, follow our wonder and our inspiration, and maybe plant a tree. Maybe you notice there's a lack of wildflowers and you think, okay, wildflowers, that's what I'd love to do. Or, you know, it really, the act doesn't matter, but it's the commitment to go, observe, listen, and be with, and then take the action that you feel inspired. And maybe ask a good question, like, how can I be most helpful to the earth and the future generations? And allow that question to unravel as you move in the world.
Exactly. I think that is the great point. And actually, I think when we think about in terms of practicalities, all it takes to to experience what is to create life in a way, in the same way that we do as humans. All it takes is actually a little bit of soil, a little bit of earth that we could probably grab from outside, from any corner, and maybe, the seed of your mandarin or the seed of your orange or whatever fruit you have. You just, instead of throwing the pip, just grab the pip and plant it and see what happens. It might just come out and you go like, oh my god, there's a plant growing up here. So that little exercise, it's so rewarding and inspiring. So I think, then you probably transplant it to a bigger pot, and then it becomes like people come to your home and say, oh wow, what's that beautiful thing? And oh, it's just like a little mandarin tree, kind of things like that. So I think that's, for those who are watching, maybe, if the bigger picture is not on your radar just now, at least simple acts like this can make a big difference, and with your children and everything, it will be so fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That they see that, and they see that relationship growing between perhaps you and a plant from seed, and you're showing, it's like having the experience yourself, and plus that, the role modeling of that, either way, is just magic.
Yeah.
It's so magic. This tiny seed that grows into it already knows who it's going to be, and unravels and grows, and it's so magical, and it's free. You can go in and collect seeds. You find the plant that you love and say, oh, I might go and see if I find that in the wild, and you can collect rose hips or take cuttings, and you can it's for free. You can find these things for free, and you can grow some plants, and it doesn't have to cost anything. You can get a pot from the garden, and that's it. You're off, and you're creating a relationship.
Yes, they are so rewarding and so grateful. They just give so much. That's why we call the mother abundance, because it's just so abundant, and like you say, they know exactly what they need to do. They just grow.
Absolutely.
They just come here to give what they are meant to be giving. So yeah, thank you, Kim. This has been a lovely chat, and these are actually the links for those who are interested to know a little bit more about Kim's work and the things, that the different programs that she runs. Also, she shares lots of different wisdom at the Clopil Center that you can see there, where they develop different programs in terms of earth connection and things like that. So please visit and subscribe there to her as well, so you can see what's happening. And obviously we are in times of kind of quietness, but I'm sure that when the time is right, you, me, and both of us will be on sharing the face-to-face experiences for people to come and learn a little bit more about this, what we've been talking.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Anta. And I also just wanted to add that we've got the 2 addresses there, but also on Facebook, Wild Roots Nature Connection Community is our wilderness awareness nature connection school that we work with
Let me
children.
write it here. So it's,
Okay.
can you say it again?
It's Wild Roots Nature Connection Community.
Nature connection. Okay. I hope it's the right spelling.
Okay.
So
But
maybe
yeah, there we
Wild Roots
post.
Nature
Yeah.
Connection Community.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
the
perfect.
one.
That's on Facebook,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, so you can find that on Facebook, where we share posts about going into nature and exercises, and I'm going to start a program about nature and nurture, about parenting in nature. So
Beautiful.
for those of you who are interested.
Excellent. Well, there you go. You guys can follow. We're doing the best we can with these times of change. So we obviously have been confined to share online things, but as we can see, even though these ways are very strange for all of us and we have had to learn so much about these new ways, but we still can deliver something. So thank you everybody for watching here. Thank you, Kim, so much for our connection and for all the work that you're doing and for hopefully inspiring many people who watch this video to go out to nature and be inspired. And in the meantime, so guys, I would like to also take the chance to invite you. There's the information on the bottom. So it's for the ceremony this Saturday. We're running ceremonies like sound ceremonies on the every Saturday related to the topic. So we will have like 3 hours more to continue the work. And so we have one of these offerings in English. So it's going to be this Saturday, 7 till 10 UK time. And then there is another one for the Spanish speaking in Spanish at 7 p.m. but Colombia time. So all the information will be there in our Facebook page as well. So for those who are interested, and yeah, thank you so much everybody for supporting, for being here, for everybody in the school who are supporting as well. And thank you, Kim, once again, and send my love to all the family there, to your family, and yeah, we keep in touch for future chats.
Thanks, Santa.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for everything. All right. Take care, everyone.
Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, so thank you very much for being here once again. I hope you enjoy this. There is once again, that's the link to find Kim's work. And I will just leave you here. This is also our Facebook page where you can find also the events every Saturday. So remember, every Monday is the main video. During the week, we do these live streamings, live interviews. And on Saturday is the ceremony of the topic of the Monday. So if I don't see you this Saturday to celebrate this Earth ceremony with sound, I'll see you hopefully on Monday to open the door of the air. We will have another beautiful guest from Canada, an elder who will share with us beautiful things. So keep an eye on this program and see you everybody hopefully very soon. Bye-bye for now.